That is the office, and these are the cubicles. That is my cubicle. This is your cubicle. This is your phone. Never answer your phone. Let the voicemail system answer it. There are no personal phone calls allowed. We do allow for emergencies, however. If you must make an emergency phone call, ask your supervisor first. If you can't find your supervisor, ask Philip Spires. Philip sits over there. He'll check with Clarissa Knox. Clarissa sits over there. If you make an emergency phone call without asking, you may be let go. These are your in and out boxes. All the forms in your inbox must be logged in by the date shown in the upper left-hand corner, initialed by you in the upper right-hand corner, and distributed to the processing analyst whose name is numerically coded in the lower left-hand corner. The lower right-hand corner is left blank. You must pace your work. We pace our work according to the 8-hour workday. For example, if you have 12 hours of work in your inbox, you must compress that work into the 8-hour day. If you have 1 hour of work in your inbox, you must expend that work to fill the 8-hour day. Feel free to ask questions. Ask too many questions, however, and you may be let go. That is our receptionist. She is a temp. We go through receptionists here. Here are the last few receptionists we have had. These temps quit with alarming frequency. Be polite and civil to our temps. Learn their names. Invite them to lunch occasionally. But don't get close to them, as it only makes it more difficult when they leave. And they always leave. You can be sure of that. The men's room is over there. The women's room is over there. John LaFontaine, who sits over there, uses the women's room occasionally. He says it is accidental. We know better. We let it pass. John is harmless, his brief forays into the forbidden territory of the women's room simply a benign thrill, a blip on the dull, flat line that is his life. Russell Nash, who sits in the cubicle to your left, is in love with Amanda Pierce. She sits in the cubicle to your right. They ride the same bus together after work. For Amanda Pierce, it is a bus ride made less tedious by the idle chittering of Russell Nash. But for Russell Nash, it is the highlight of his day. It is the highlight of his life. Russell has put on 40 pounds, and grows fatter with each passing month, nibbling on chips and cookies while peeking glumly over the partitions at Amanda Pierce, and gorging himself at home on pizza and ice cream while watching porn on TV. Amanda Pierce, in the cubicle to your right, has a 6-year-old son named Jamie, who is autistic. Her cubicle is plastered from top to bottom with the boy's crayon artwork, sheet after sheet of precisely drawn concentric circles and ellipses. She rotates them every other Friday. Be sure to comment on them. Amanda Pierce also has a husband, who is a lawyer. He subjects her to an escalating array of painful and humiliating sex games, to which Amanda Pierce reluctantly submits. She comes to work exhausted and freshly wounded each morning, wincing from the abrasions on her breasts, or the bruises on her abdomen, or the second-degree burns on the backs of her thighs. But we're not supposed to know any of this. Do not let on. If you let on, you may be let go. Amanda Pierce, who tolerates Russell Nash, is in love with Albert Bosch, who sits over there. Albert Bosch, who only dimly registers Amanda Pierce's existence as eyes only for Ellie Tepper, who sits over there. Ellie Tepper, who hates Albert Bosch, would walk through a fire for Curtis Lance. But Curtis Lance hates Ellie Tepper. Isn't the world funny? Anika Bloom sits in that cubicle. Last year, while reviewing quarterly reports in a meeting with Barry Hacker, Anika Bloom's left palm began to bleed. She fell into a trance, stared into her hand, and told Barry Hacker when and how his wife would die. We laughed it off. She was, after all, a new employee. But Barry Hacker's wife is dead. So unless you want to know exactly when and how you'll die, never talk to Anika Bloom. Colin Heavey sits in that cubicle over there. He was new once. We warned him about Anika Bloom. He felt sorry for her when he saw that no one was talking to her at last year's Christmas party. Colin Heavey brought her a drink. He hasn't been himself since. Colin Heavey is doomed. There's nothing he can do about it. We are powerless to help. Stay away from Colin Heavey. Never give any of your work to him. If he asks to do something, tell him you have to check with me. If he asks again, tell him I haven't gotten back to you. This is the fire exit. There are several on this floor. They are marked accordingly. We have a floor evacuation review every 3 months, and an escape route quiz once a month. We have our biannual fire drill twice a year, and our annual earthquake drill once a year. These are precautions only. These things never happen. For your information, we have a comprehensive health plan. Any catastrophic illness, any unforeseen tragedy is completely covered. All dependents are completely covered. Larry Bagdickian, who sits over there, has 6 daughters. If anything were to happen to any of his girls, or to all of them, if all 6 were to simultaneously fall victim to illness or injury, stricken with a hideous degenerative muscle disease, or some rare toxic blood disorder, sprayed with semi-automatic gunfire while on a class field trip, or attacked in their bunk beds by some prowling nocturnal lunatic, if any of this were to pass, Larry's girls would all be taken care of. Larry Bagdickian would not have to pay 1 dime. He would have nothing to worry about. We also have a generous vacation and sick leave policy. We have an excellent disability insurance plan. We have a stable and profitable pension fund. We get group discounts for the symphony, and block seating at the ballpark. We get commuter ticket books for the bridge. We have direct deposit. We are all members of Costco. We also get 1 15-minute break in the morning, and 1 15-minute break in the afternoon. Always take your breaks. If you skip a break, it is gone forever. For your information, your break is a privilege, not a right. If you abuse the break policy, we are authorized to rescind your breaks. Lunch, however, is a right, not a privilege. If you abuse the lunch policy, our hands will be tied, and we will be forced to look the other way. We will not enjoy that. Barry Hacker, who sits over there, steals food from this refrigerator. This theft is an outlet for his grief, which we aren't supposed to talk.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
In any case, if you bring a lunch, put a little something extra in the bag for Barry Hacker. This is our supplies cabinet. If you need supplies, see Curtis Lance. He will log you in on the supplies cabinet authorization log, then give you a supplies authorization slip. Present your pink copy of the supplies authorization slip to Ellie Tepper. She will log you in on the supplies cabinet key log, then give you the key. Because the supplies cabinet is located outside the unit manager's office, you must be very quiet. Gather your supplies quietly. The supplies cabinet is divided into 4 sections. Section 1 contains letterhead stationery, blank paper and envelopes, memo and notepads, and so on. Section 2 contains pens and pencils and typewriter and printer ribbons, and the like. In Section 3 we have erasers, correction fluids, transparent tapes, glue sticks, etc. And in Section 4 we have paper clips and push pins and scissors and razor blades. The spare blades for the shredder are located here too. Do not touch the shredder. It is located over there. The shredder is of no concern to you. Gwendolyn Stitch sits in that office there. She is crazy about penguins, and collects penguin knickknacks, penguin posters and coffee mugs and stationery, penguin stuffed animals,
penguin jewelry, penguin sweaters and t-shirts and socks. She has a pair of penguin fuzzy slippers she wears when working late at the office. She has a tape cassette of penguin sounds which she listens to for relaxation. Her favorite colors are black and white. She has personalized license plates that read, Penguin. Every morning, she passes through all the cubicles to wish each of us a good morning. She brings Danish on Wednesdays for hump day morning break, and donuts on Fridays for TGIF afternoon break. She organizes the annual Christmas potluck and is in charge of the birthday list. Gwendolyn Stitch's door is always open to all of us.
She will always lend an ear and put in a good word for you. She will always give you a hand or the shirt off her back or her shoulder to cry on. She hides and cries in the stall in the women's room. People have heard her vomiting in there. We have seen her huddled in the stairwell, shivering, sipping a Diet Mr. Pibb and hugging her knees. She does not let any of this interfere with her work. If it interfered with her work, she might have to be let go. This is Kevin Howard. He is our fastest typist. He types as if he were on fire. He has a secret crush on Gwendolyn Stitch and leaves a couple of red foil-wrapped Hershey's Kisses on her desk every afternoon. Kevin Howard is a...
Okay, this is Officer of the Police Department. I'm working on the carpet cutter case and have a basic MO and victim profile that should be typed up and distributed to all local law enforcement and state law enforcement. The victim must be a white male, young adult, no older than 30, heavy-set with dark eyes and hair. The victim must be chosen at random before sunset and from a public place. Once chosen, the victim is followed home, must put up a struggle, etc. The carnage inflicted is precise. The angle and direction of the incisions, the laying of the skin and muscle tissue, the rearrangement of the visceral organs, being consistent among all recovered bodies and recovered partial remains.
Kevin Howard hates Anika Bloom. In his presence, she has these uncontrollable fits of shaking and trembling. Her left palm does not stop bleeding. Kevin Howard is a nice person, a bit of a loner, perhaps, but always quiet and polite. This is the photocopier room. And this is our view. It faces southwest. West is down there, toward the water. North is back there. Because we are on the 17th floor, we are afforded a very nice view. There. See? That's you. And look there. There's Anika Bloom in the kitchen, waving. Enjoy this view while photocopying. If you have problems with the photocopier, see Russell Nash. If you have any questions, ask your supervisor. If you can't find your supervisor, ask Philip Spires. He sits over there. He'll check with Clarissa Knox. She sits over there. If you can't find them, feel free to ask me. That's my cubicle. I sit in there. Thank you. Goodbye.